I'm here with NALEO Educational Fund CEO Arturo Vargas, who can provide an overview of the events that took place this week around the citizenship question. Arturo, take us back a moment, and how is it that the question on citizenship was added to the census?
Well, the fact is that it was a very convoluted process that involved lying to the American public, lying to Congress. Secretary of Commerce Ross said that he was responding to a request from the Department of Justice for the citizenship question. We later have found out through federal litigation that, in fact, it was Secretary Ross who conspired to get the question on the form by asking DOJ to request the question, and then he ordered it in March of 2018.
And if the citizenship question would make it to the census, what kind of impact would it have on the Latino community?
This is the thing, that the Census Bureau itself knows that adding any question at this point before a decennial census is just bad policy and bad operations, because the Census Bureau doesn't know what the impact of that question will be on response rates. In this case, the Bureau does know that adding the citizenship question to the 2020 census will depress response rates among immigrant households and Latino households. That is a fact. The research bears that out.
And 3 judges have now ruled that the actions that were taken to add the citizenship question violated federal law. It is now before the Supreme Court. What exactly happened this week before the court?
That's right. There were 9 federal lawsuits filed. 2 in New York, 2 in California, 2 in Maryland, 1 in the District of Columbia. 6 of those were consolidated into 3 trials. 3 judges came to the same conclusion: violation of the Administrative Procedures Act. 2 judges said it also violated the Constitution. Because we're running out of time, the Department of Commerce, Department of Justice, asked for the Supreme Court to review this immediately, bypassing the appeals court level, the Second Circuit in New York. So on April 23rd, the U.S. Supreme Court heard oral arguments on the New York case only, even though there were decisions already issued from California and Maryland.
And what happens next? When will we hear back from the judges?
Well, what we know of the hearing and the oral arguments is that it appears that the judges were divided along ideological lines, which is unfortunate because we don't want the Supreme Court involved in politics. We want the Supreme Court to uphold our principles of our Constitution and our democracy. The Supreme Court session ends in June, and that's usually when the most impactful decisions are issued. June is also important because the Census Bureau literally needs to go to print by June to have everything ready for the census in 2020.
So the clock is really ticking for us to know exactly how it is, what direction we're going to go with in terms of this question. How can folks listening get involved with our Hágase Contar campaign, which aims to count all Latinos in the upcoming census?
I think there are a number of things that we want our community to do. One is make your voice heard. If you disagree with the addition of this question, let the Supreme Court know. Let Congress know. Go to our website and get information on how to get involved. And then let's all be part of a movement to make sure that every single Latino gets counted just as the Constitution requires. The Constitution says an enumeration of all persons. Not all citizens, not all white people, not all men, not all adults, all persons. This is fundamental to our civil rights.
Thank you so much, Arturo, for this update. Now, please be sure to retweet, share this video so that other folks can get all the latest around news around the citizenship question. And be sure to follow us also at NALEO. I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much for tuning in.